Hello, my name is Isaac Tullis, and for my project, I have done research on mental illness and mental health of young children, and more in depth on what is taught in schools currently and how we can increase the education to young children on mental health. So, I actually have created a blog called Mental Health and Kids.weebly.com, and here it is. So I have a couple of pages here. Here's obviously the main blog, and I'll go through some of the things that I've written in a little bit. The purpose of the blog, as it says here, is to provide helpful information about mental illness in children and to bring together resources that can be helpful for parents, educators, and children. And also, I made the note that some of the blog posts will be written in a really simple way, geared towards children. This isn't because I expect children to read the blog, but because it presents information in such a way that it makes it really easy for parents or educators to then share with children. Um, yeah, here we have some helpful resources for children and also for adults. And I reference a lot of different websites and resources in the blog posts specifically that I don't have repeated here necessarily. Well, yeah. So I'll show you some of my findings and the things that I have learned through my research and what I've written here. Nothing in here really is my conclusions or new information. It is more of a place where I have gathered already helpful information to be in one spot to make it a bit easier to find and to use for people looking for it. So the first post here is what is mental health? This is the one that is most geared towards children, because some children don't really have the knowledge of what mental health is or mental illness is. It says mental health can be compared to physical health. When our bodies are feeling good and we have energy, we're healthy and we can go to school, play, and do a lot more. Our minds also need to be healthy. It's important for us to be able to learn and to feel happy. Just like our bodies can get sick, so can our minds. We can go to the doctor when we are feeling sick and he will give a name to the kind of sickness we have. This is called a diagnosis. Sometimes we need medicine and sometimes we don't. The same goes for our mind. We can not feel good in our head, and a mental health professional can help us understand what we are feeling and give us a diagnosis. Sometimes medicine can help. Mental health is important for us to feel the best we can, to have the best life we can. A mental illness is when we see a mental health professional and receive a diagnosis. We can feel sad and have bad days without having a mental illness. We can only know for sure if we have a mental illness if we are diagnosed with one. This is a really good way, I think, to explain what mental illness is to young children in a way that makes it seem like a normal thing and not scary or strange or about crazy people that they may have heard before in the past. I'm going to jump around a little bit as through my posts because I did not publish them in the correct order. But next, I'd like to talk about some statistics. Maybe you guys have heard that 1 in 5 adults in the US experience a mental disorder. It was really surprising for me to learn that it's nearly the same for children. The CDC reports that around 13 to 20% of children in the United States experience a mental disorder in a given year. That was really surprising to me. Through further research, I learned that 3.2% of children ages 3 to 17 have diagnosed depression, and 7.1% have diagnosed anxiety. These numbers are a lot larger than I imagined they would be. And the most shocking statistic that I came across was that only 12% of the youth, of the 13 to 20% with a mental disorder, receive any sort of services to address the mental health concerns. Clearly, at least to me, that is not right. So then I looked into what is being done in schools and how mental illness is discussed in a school setting and the treatment that children can receive through schools. And there's a statistic that I found by the American Psychiatric Association that says 50% of mental illness begins by the age of 14. And so I believe that children should be formally educated about mental illness and mental health before the age of 14, so that those who will experience it, or those who will have someone close to them experience it, which in reality will be everybody. Statistically, if 1 in 5 children and adults have mental illness. So it's very important to learn about it, learn how to cope with it, learn how to talk to people who have it, and learn how to help those people as well from a young age. Currently, only 3 states have a mandated curriculum for mental health: New York, Virginia, and Florida. I know that many school districts around the country will have like a mental health awareness week, but that really doesn't spread the kind of information to help children with mental illness to get the help they need. Obviously, it is a good thing to spread awareness about mental health and mental illness, but a lot more needs to be done than that. Here we can read that according to School Mental Health, youth are 6 times more likely to complete evidence-based treatment for mental illness when they're offered in schools than in any other community setting. Really, for children and youth within a school is where they're able to receive a lot of the support they need. For some kids, it's where they get their food every day. It's obviously where they learn. It's where they make friends. It's where they have sports that keep them busy and healthy. It's where they have clubs where they can participate socially with other people and do things that they like to do. It also needs to be a better place for them to receive mental help through counseling, through screenings for mental health disorders or mental illnesses. And it just needs to be a place where they can learn more about these things, like any other important subject that kids learn in school. I did a lot of research and listened to a lot of kids' books that discuss mental health, and here I have posted a link to some of... Actually, this is the list I read books from, and it is very comprehensive for the subject matter, and also the books are very, very good, all the ones that I have read. And I also highlight a website made by the state of California geared towards children that explains mental illnesses in a really good way for kids. I found through my research that children need to be more educated about mental health, and that it is very important to know things from a young age about mental health so that they can grow knowing how to cope with these things and to help those around them. Thanks.